welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net, my fellow babies. I am hopeful that you are watching as a Patreon patron. If you are, thank you for your patronage. That's keeping the cameras rolling. If you're not a Patreon patron, but you are instead a YouTube subscriber, thank you. If you're doing neither of those, please try to remember to read in the show description below how to link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch Prime account. That gets us paid. It costs you nothing. It costs you about 15 seconds to figure out how to click 2 links and it's done. So please try to do that because we get paid. It's free money for us. It costs you nothing. You're already paying for it, so you might as well get the full benefit. So now I'm supposed to get to my big predictions. 2023 is going to be a weird year. Look, I'll just start with my regular prediction, Elder Scrolls 6, except that it's not really coming. With Starfield coming out, Elder Scrolls 6 should have come out in 2017 or 18, and then Starfield kind of replaced it, and I don't think that means that we won't see an Elder Scrolls. I mean, Starfield, is essentially Elder Scrolls in space, right? So I'm hopeful that Microsoft / Bethesda can alternate, kind of Middle Earth and space versions of Elder Scrolls, and then we can get one every 3 or 4 years. But that's probably not going to be a this year event. So look, from Microsoft, I think they closed the Activision deal, so I think that's a big deal. I think that you probably get an announcement shortly thereafter that Activision catalog, Call of Duty catalog, shows up on Game Pass. Not that it's going to be available this year, but you'll hear about it. I think that's a big driver. I am hopeful that Microsoft figures out a way to partner with other third parties who deliver streaming video on televisions, because browsers on TVs suck. I think that the partnership with Samsung is going to be a disaster because Samsung's user interface is terrible on their TV and it's buggy and slow. Roku's the best, so I really love to see Microsoft sign a deal with Roku. Roku's devices are elegant, they work flawlessly. So I think that the bigger announcements coming out of Microsoft are going to be all about Game Pass, and I think making Game Pass more accessible is their big innovation this year. If there were games coming out this coming year, 23, big ones, we would have heard about them already. I mean, Bonnie Ross left 343, and I think somebody must have been sick or died or something because it sounded like a personal thing. Gears, maybe, but Rod Ferguson went to Diablo, so that slowed that all down. Forza, don't care. Forza comes out when Forza comes out. I think Bethesda, yes. I mean, Bethesda, Starfield's big, but I don't think there's anything frame breaking. And it's like, are we going to get more of the Pentiment kind of cool, fun games, but not 100 million unit sellers? No, I don't think anything. Like Game Pass, it's all about Game Pass this year. So it's really all about catalog available on Game Pass. And I think you're going to hear about Fallout 3 and 4 remastered, available on Game Pass, and Doom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 available on Game Pass. So no, sorry, that's it for Microsoft. Sony, I think Sony's kind of in a battle for its life with this Microsoft deal closing with Activision. I think Game Pass scares the crap out of them. So what Sony does have to rely on is amazing first party, but I think they've distracted themselves with PSVR 2, and I think that's going to kind of anger consumers. It's too expensive. There's not enough games for it. They've got to get back to getting on track with really great first party. And God of War Ragnarok is awesome, and God bless them. And we don't need more than 1 or 2 of those a year. I don't know. They have anything coming next year they've announced? No.
There is nothing.
Right. So
there's no Sony first party games.
Yeah, but they exist. It just when do they come? No, exactly. And unfortunately, E3 turned into a non-event the last 2 years. Sony stopped going. Sony's, I expect that around GDC, Sony's on a different cadence than theirs. They'll announce something big. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know if it's Last of Us, new era, but something new. But it doesn't matter. They actually do have content. Some from Naughty Dog would be cool. They're probably close to having something. Those guys work hard. They're working on something. But no, I don't expect anything big. I think Sony's too focused on hardware, and I think that's a mistake. They should be focused on cutting the price of hardware and should be focused on supply chain and getting this stuff out. I think they're too consumed with making a profit on PSVR 2, too consumed with absorbing the Bungie acquisition. So for sure, Bungie will have something this year. For sure. Now they will. You can't spend $3.6 billion and wait 2 years before they produce anything. Bungie's been working on it forever. Nintendo, I actually think you're gonna. Well, obviously you have Zelda, which is a big deal. I think Nintendo announces a new console this coming year. I don't think it's coming out in 23. I think it's probably a 2024 event. And the open question is, is it like the Wii 2 that I predicted 10 years ago? Is it something like, is it the Switch 2? Is it higher power? I think Nintendo's kind of settled into a very defensible mode of being the best handheld console maker on the planet. And I think that with improvements in graphics and with the ability to kind of project your games onto your TV screen, I think they can make a handheld that works on the TV no problem. I'm not sure you even need the docking station anymore. I think they can actually make it work really, really seamlessly. So if you see any innovation, it's going to be that. But the graphics card will be such that it probably will play in 4K. Now, the problem is just that there's no slowdown in Switch sales. And until you see a console price cut for Switch, they're really not done. They're not even close to selling, all the Switches they're going to sell. So if I were they, I wouldn't launch a new console in 24, but you're going to know when the Switch price comes down below $200. When the regular Switch is $199 and the Switch OLED is $249, that's when you know. So when I predict this, I don't know. I don't know how close they are. The supply chain and COVID kind of screwed up everything and screwed up the pattern. But I will say I expect a lot of software. Zelda, I think we're due for a Mario Kart. The last Mario Kart was 2014, something like that. We're so due for a Mario Kart, and they can do it, and they understand it. They are just not a dumb company. They know exactly what they have to do. So I'm hopeful you get one or two big titles in addition to Zelda, and I'm hopeful that they announce a console for Christmas 2024 launch, which I think is about the right time for them. Rest of the guys, I don't think you get out of Take-Two. I don't think GTA 6 is anytime soon. But what I do think, and I will predict this with impunity, I do think you get Grand Theft Auto Online offered without having to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 to play it. So take the paywall away, make GTA Online free for everybody. Make it free on mobile will be hard, but maybe eventually mobile. But make it free to play on PC and console. Include it, since it's free, on Game Pass, and they will. Include it on PS Plus, because they will. And here's the big bold prediction. I think that you take the content that's already been developed for GTA 6, and let's just say they've done 150 levels of GTA 6 missions. That they're already in the can, that they haven't yet woven it all together in the story, but the level design is done, the missions are done, but they're going to make a 300 mission game, so they're halfway done with GTA. Create a season pass for GTA Online, and I'm going to make the math easy. Every quarter, $10. So every 90 days, you pay $10 for a season pass, and every 10 days in that 90-day period, you drop a mission from GTA 6. And you don't call it GTA 6, you call it GTA Online missions, but only Season Pass players can play it. The mission expires 3 months after you drop it. So if you don't buy a Season Pass and you wait 3 months, you don't get to play the mission. So no one can join GTA Online Season Pass for just one season, one quarter, pay $10 and play 100 missions like that. You can't do that. You can play the last 9 missions, always. If there's one every 10 days, there will always be 9 missions available. But if you miss the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter, you're screwed. You can't play them. Take the missions and create alliance mechanics. So my 30-person alliance has the highest score in the mission we get all sorts of free stuff in the game because we did so well, or our alliances are battling in a mission to see who can complete it the fastest time and we win stuff, whatever. You can make that cool. And then every 18 months or so, put together all the missions, 50 of them, have GTA Online, the missions, for $50. 50 missions, $50. You didn't pay the season pass, here it is in a download. You can play 50 missions. And you can do that, rinse and repeat, and keep doing it. If Take-Two can continue, if Rockstar can continue to create 36 missions a year, you can do this in perpetuity. And you never release GTA 6. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so what would happen is you would instantly take GTA Online from 25 million monthly active players to 100 million by making it free to play. You would instantly get 30 or 40 million season pass players. So the revenues would go up by $1.5 billion. And you would add 500 million of sales of the mission pack every 18 months. This thing could be a couple $1 billion a year incremental to Take-Two. I love it. So I think that's Take-Two. Now, EA is not going to move as fast. They won't figure this out and do the same thing with FIFA Ultimate Team, which they should, and move it from behind a paywall. But I expect that they'll have something other than a Star Wars game this year. They probably won't have a Battlefield game. They're probably going to rest a year. I expect this is the year of EA Mobile. And if I had to bet, I'd say they'd probably come up with a mobile racing game. Not that any of you care, but that's why they bought Codemasters. So I expect that that's going to be their big innovation, is this year mobile is going to be where they press. Don't know that we're going to see any real innovation from Apex or anything. So I'd say EA, kind of a quiet year. Activision, part of Microsoft, so I think that deal's going to close. But we know Diablo 4 is coming out. I don't think they need to announce anything more, and when they do, it'll be part of Microsoft. So I dealt with that. Ubisoft, wow, Skull and Bones finally coming out. How exciting! I don't think there's much innovation coming there either. I am pretty optimistic that they figure out multiplayer eventually. And I think the biggest impediment to Ubisoft and multiplayer is that they don't have the content that lends itself to multiplayer. So Rainbow Six works, but The Division doesn't. You need IP, and I guess the problem is that to get recurring revenue from multiplayer, it's worked in sports, it's worked in that squad-based battle royale type, Apex Legends, Fortnite model, and it works obviously in military shooters. So I don't really know if they're ever going to get good at it. They're definitely not good at mobile either. So it's taking them a while to kind of figure it out. So I expect nothing really innovative. Their deal with Tencent kind of cemented that they're not getting bought. No, they've locked up the shares. The Guillemot family and Tencent control it. There is no buyer. I think that what'll be really interesting to see is E3 comes back this year and is good. I'm hopeful. I think Sony really screwed it up by not being there. I'm hopeful that they at least show up for a cup of coffee and act like they care. Microsoft, I think, will actually be impressive at E3 because I think having Bethesda, having the content, having Game Pass, I think it'll be a fun week. So looking forward to it. And one of you guys watching this is going to get to come to my E3 party. So look forward to that. June 13th. You can meet me. How is
Any
that?
big overarching themes for the industry next year?
I think that the Netflix games thing and Google getting out of Stadia and Amazon kind of waffling along with games, it's interesting, but I don't know when it becomes real. Do
you think those companies get out?
Amazon, no. Google, yes. Netflix doesn't know what they're doing yet. They'll take a year or two before they figure it out. Not in 23. That's my 2 cents. And you paid a Patreon subscription, or you paid a YouTube subscription, or you linked your Prime account to your Twitch account, or you're watching this on YouTube and you didn't even pay 2 cents for my opinion. So that's what it's worth. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. See you next time.